Good morning. Welcome to Tribune News on Q, your go-to morning news source, only here at the Daily Tribune, or live on Daily Tribune's Facebook page, Daily Tribune PH on YouTube, and the Daily Tribune Official on TikTok. For today's headlines. A lawyer for Manasseh Scorpio accused the Anti-Money Laundering Council and House Justice Panel members of violating the Anti-Money Laundering Act by disclosing confidential bank information tied to the impeachment case of Sara Duterte. Police arrested a 28-year-old man Saturday night in Barangay Sampaloc for allegedly selling cigarette products that lacked mandated graphic health warnings. A top official of the National Task Force to End the Local Communist Armed Conflict warned of a troubling shift in NPA recruitment following clashes in the Visayas that left 2 Americans and 3 minors dead. A shooting at a gala attended by Donald Trump has raised serious concerns over security lapses after an armed suspect managed to enter and move within the hotel hosting senior U.S. officials. Final negotiations at the World Health Organization have begun for a global pandemic agreement, with an extra week of talks aimed at resolving key divisions. Francisco Chula Rel Jr. warned that climate volatility, geopolitical conflict, and disease outbreaks are converging to strain global food systems and agricultural response. After years of shared milestones and fan-favorite moments, Donnie Pangilinan and Bel Mariano are preparing to step into a new phase, this time on their own. Alex Ayala won't be competing in Spain once more after pulling out from the Catalonia Open. Today is the 28th of April 2026, Tuesday, and I'm Eliana Lacap bringing you today's top stories. Let's kick things off with today's weather. Today, the easterlies will bring cloudy skies and scattered rains over parts of Mindanao and Metro Manila, Lanao del Norte, Lanao del Sur, Maguindanao del Norte, Maguindanao del Sur, Zamboanga del Sur, and Misamis Occidental will experience cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms. Metro Manila and the rest of the country will have partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms due to the easterlies. Pag-asa warns of possible flash floods or landslides during moderate to heavy rains, light to moderate winds, and slight to moderate seas will prevail nationwide. Now for a traffic update. Light traffic is reported Balintawak Toll Plaza, Mindanao Toll Plaza, Bocaue Toll Plaza, and San Fernando northbound and southbound lanes. All other areas of NLEX, SATEX, and NLEX connector, including toll plazas and interchanges, are also experiencing light traffic. Now let's move on to this morning's headlines. A lawyer for Manasseh Scorpio, husband of Vice President Sara Duterte, has accused the Anti-Money Laundering Council and the House Justice Panel members of illegally disclosing confidential bank records during impeachment proceedings. Counsel Peter Paul Danao cited the Anti-Money Laundering Act of 2001, saying it prohibits releasing banking data in any manner, with no clear exceptions. The complaint names officials including Bangko Sentral Governor Eli Remolana Jr. and AMLC Director Ronel Buenaventura. Carpio's camp questioned the release of nearly 2 decades of records, while lawmakers defended it is a part of the impeachment process. Now, police arrested a 28-year-old man in Barangay Sampaloc, Manila after a surveillance operation uncovered the illegal sale of cigarettes without required graphic health warnings. The operation, led by Special Mayor's Reaction Team, included a test buy that confirmed violations of Republic Act 10643. Authorities seized about 100,000 pesos worth of Oris cigarettes, with the suspect unable to present permits or documents. The products were pulled from circulation, and charges are now being prepared for inquest before the Manila City Prosecutor's Office. Now, the National Task Force to End the Local Communist Armed Conflict has raised concern over what it calls a troubling shift in the New People's Army recruitment following deadly clashes in the Visayas. Executive Director Ernesto C. Torres Jr. said the deaths of 2 Americans and 3 minors in encounters in Negros Occidental and Samar suggest recruitment is expanding to foreigners and vulnerable youth amid declining ranks. Authorities identified the foreign victims as Lyle Frijoles and Kaidana Rene Sorem. Police said recruitment is increasingly done online, prompting tighter monitoring and increased police visibility nationwide. Now, a security breach at a high-profile gala attended by U.S. President Donald Trump has triggered scrutiny after an armed suspect allegedly entered restricted areas at the Washington Hilton during the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Authorities identified the suspect as 31-year-old Cole Thomas Allen, who was detained after reportedly carrying a shotgun, handgun, and knives. Trump, First Lady Melania Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and other officials were evacuated. Allen faces firearm and assault charges as investigators probe how he accessed the secured venue. Authorities are also reviewing possible political motives, though none have been confirmed. An extra week of negotiations has begun at the World Health Organization as countries try to finalize a global pandemic agreement, but divisions between wealthy and developing nations remain unsolved. Talks focus on pathogen access and benefit sharing system, which governs how countries share pathogen samples and genetic data, and how they receive vaccines and treatments in return. Developing nations warn they may be forced to share samples without guaranteed access to medicines, while richer countries question incentives. WHO scientist Sylvie Bryan said balancing physical and digital data sharing remains a key challenge. The Agriculture Secretary Francisco P. Chularel Jr. warned that global food systems are facing a triple global shock from climate change, geopolitical conflicts, and disease outbreaks. Speaking after a WTO ministerial workshop in Pasay City, he cited erratic El Nino and La Nina patterns, African swine fever, and avian influenza as drivers of production disruptions and price insatiability. He also pointed to Russia-Ukraine war and the pandemic-related supply chain issues worsening food insecurity. Churrell said these overlapping crises complicate policy for countries like the Philippines, stressing stronger international cooperation through the World Trade Organization. Now, actors Donnie Pangilinan and Bel Mariano, also known as Don Bell, announced their upcoming film Tayo sa Wakas will be their last project together for now, as they take a break from their on-screen partnership. In a podcast interview, both said the decision was mutual and focused on growth, not separation. Donnie said he wanted to fully commit to the film, while Bell called the change both exciting and scary. The pair, who rose to fame in His Hit to Her, assured fans this is a pause, not a farewell, with future collaborations still possible. Now, Filipino tennis player Alex Ayala has withdrawn from the Catalonia Open in Spain, adjusting her clay court schedule as she prepares for major tournaments. The 20-year-old WTA top 50 player did not make the main draw and will now focus on the Italian Open, a WTA 1000 event ahead of the French Open. She may also compete in Parma depending on her Rome performance. A graduate of the Rafael Nadal Academy, Ella has had early exits in recent clay events, but says managing her schedule and recovery is key to her development. Now, a quick look at today's horoscope. Today calls for balance and self-care, Sagittarius. The demands of others may disrupt your plans, but it's important not to ignore your own emotional needs. Make time to unwind and recharge, as small moments of rest will help restore your energy. Avoid risky financial decisions, especially betting or gambling, as losses are likely. Listening to helpful advice will benefit you. Work efforts may be appreciated and the day improves steadily after a slow start. By evening, time with a loved one brings comfort, warmth, and emotional relief. Now, Katribo, did you know on April 28, 1949, Aurora Quezon, widow of President Manuel L. Quezon, is killed in a violent ambush, along with her daughter Maria Aurora, son-in-law Philip Buencamino III, and several others while traveling to Baler, Aurora. The attack, attributed to Hook Balahap, also acclaimed the life of the Quezon City Mayor Ponciano Bernardo and shocked the nation. President Elpidio Quirino condemned the incident and ordered a nationwide mourning period, alongside intensified military action against insurgent groups. The site of the ambush near Nueva Ecija was later declared the Aurora Memorial Park, and in her honor, the province of Aurora was later named after her. preserving her legacy in Philippine history and geography. Now, this morning's viral on TikTok has garnered 4.8 million views, with netizens commenting POV dynastic ang parents and kaninong lola to, among other funny reactions. In the clip, an unfazed and unbothered Lola is seen casually drinking a whole bottle of Red Horse beer while chatting with her amigas. She even tries offering them some, but they politely refuse. And that's all for now, mga katibo. Join us again at 1 o'clock p.m. for more updates. This has been Eliana Lacap for Tribune News on Q.